In this video, let's look more at instruments and in particular, how to load up instruments and build up a device chain. Now, the first thing I want to clear up is you've got audio tracks and then you've got instrument tracks. And then on your instrument tracks and audio tracks, you place devices. So this is an instrument device and then this is an effect device. And the same with an audio track, you can go in here and add devices. So let's create a new instrument track, load up an instrument, and build up a device chain. So I'm going to click here, and this is going to bring up the browser. I want to navigate to an instrument, a Bitwig device included instrument, and then from here, let's load up the Phase 4 instrument. And this is what the synth instrument sounds like. That sounds okay, but not too exciting. So how about we look for a different preset? If you want to browse for presets on your instrument, you can click this folder over here and navigate to different presets within the instrument. So I'm looking for something that's more of a like pad sound. So let's go to pad. And then from there, I want something that's analog. And this Dreamliner, if I click on it, I can preview the sound before I load it up. Let's try this Rainy Dawn. One more, Rusty Circuit. And down over here, you can see the tags that have been added to the instrument. So this has got analog, dark, dirty, noisy, slow, soft. Going back to Rainy Dawn pad, this has analog, chord, dark, harmonic, poly, slow, soft, and wet. So if you had to go through those categories over here, this is what you'd get. I'm happy with that, so I'll click OK. So that loads up the preset. You can see the preset name there, and then here is the synth. Now, this is the instrument, and if you want to add effects before or after it, you'll click these plus signs. So here I could add something before the synth, but I want to add some effects afterwards. So I'm going to click the plus sign, and what I'm going to go for, let's try something strange. So let's go for an audio effect, Bitwig device, and I want to go for is a vocoder, something very out of the ordinary. So let's load up the vocoder. So it's got some strange stuff happening there, but let's look for presets. There's a preset in here that I really like that's called Ghost Writer. So there. Perfect. Mix this in. Brighten it up. I can bypass it over here. So this was before. And then now with the vocoder. Now, as you can see, the signal chain goes from left to right. And you've got a little scroll bar here so you can scroll and see all the parameters. As you can see, not everything is displaying with this vocoder. And what you can do is just double click on the device name to minimize it so you can make more space to see the other devices. How about after this, we add one more effect? I'm going to go for a flanger. So we're going to go to audio effect, Bitwig device, any device, and then flanger. And I'll click OK. And I can minimize that as well and minimize everything. So we've got the vocoder, and that's showing these map parameters that I will show you in a second and how to see everything. So I can expand that again to view all the effects in the device chain. And with that track record armed, I can click my playhead somewhere over here to start where the playhead is going to start playback. And I can record in MIDI that's going to trigger that instrument and the devices on it. There you go. There's a MIDI clip, very short and sweet. If I double click on it to bring up the editor, as you can see, there is some MIDI note data that has been recorded into the parts. And if I play back, it's going to trigger those notes on the MIDI. Now, there's just another important thing that I just want to point out. Even though you get audio and instrument tracks, the basic premise of the track is that it's a device and you load devices onto it, and what you put on it determines what it is. Just as an example, here is an audio track with nothing on. Now, if I go to the mixer view, let's just bring up that mixer. I've got this audio track and I've got this instrument over here. And as you can see the devices here. Now on this audio track, I can take this instrument, drag it on there with those effects as well that are on the chain. So if I click on here, you'll see that it's now turned to an instrument track. And if I go back to the arrange area, I can set my input to a MIDI controller. And then if I select that track, record on it, and play back, I've got an instrument track now that was previously an audio track. So basically what I'm trying to get you to understand is that basically a track can be anything on Bitwig. It can be an audio track, it can be an instrument track, depending on the device chain. And as you saw for this track, if I just go back, I'll just take everything off. There's an audio track with no devices on. And as I add the devices back, it becomes an instrument track. And that's determined by the devices that are on the signal chain. So I hope that gives you a good explanation on instruments and more in particular how devices and the device chains work. Now in the next video, let's expand on this and I'll show you how you can build up a multi-device. And when I mean multi-device, I mean how you can chain devices together to build up complex instruments that you can use in your productions.